After a wild Watkins Glen last week, which saw Logan Williams get his second win on the season at possibly the most important time of the season, we now have a three-driver fight for this championship that can mathematically leave here with the point lead going into the finale next week at Atlanta. But depending on what happens here, Sanvatore, Barlow, and maybe Beal still have a shot as well. 125 laps, one of the longest short track races of the season, is the Smithfield 500 underneath the lights. One last time before the finale here at Martinsville Speedway for Season 5 of the JBL Cup Series. What's up, everyone? It's the boy NR2003, aka Nathan Stapleton here, and oh boy, I've been waiting for this race for a long time. It is the second to final race of season number 5, and it is Martinsville Speedway. This race put up possibly one of the best races of season 4 last year, and we could see the same here today. This track very racy. You won't think of it, but there is maybe two crews here, and these guys won all over the place. Being and bang, short track racing, and oh yeah, we are coming down to the wire for the season 5 chase. I'm not alone for this one. For the final time of season 5, I'm joined by Elijah Leonard. Elijah, welcome back to Martinsville, and welcome to some short track racing underneath the lights.
I've always wanted to be here, man, especially in real life, and now we get to do it in JBL Cup Series competition. I'm excited for this, man. Let's bring it.
Well, last week at Watkins Glen, Logan Williams absolutely dominated, and now he has a 17 point, or he is only 17 points behind Josh Williamson, who is still the point leader, but he's so deep in the field in this one, 34th again. Meanwhile, Watkowski and Williams start towards the front in the top 15. For Watkowski, who's minus 14, and Logan Williams, who's minus 17, what do they need to do to leave here with either the point lead or be close enough to take the championship away from Williamson next week?
I'd say one goal in mind, especially if you're somebody like Logan Williams, who wants to try to move your way up into at least to get yourself in a better position to take the points lead, leaving here today, heading into the finale. You want to try to run up front as much as possible. You want to try to be up. You want to try to lead a lap, maybe lead the most laps possibly. But most importantly, for some of these drivers that are in the conversation, you want to, again, it goes back to what I was saying before. You want to try to pass as many cars as you possibly can, because the more points, the more cars that you pass, the better of a chance that you're going to get maximum points, especially if you win. So, especially, but this is one last chance. I mean, especially for these drivers to kind of get themselves in the best possible position before we get to Atlanta here next week. So, it's gonna be really interesting to see how this race is going to play out, because as we all know, at a short track, depending on how this plays out, it could go caution-free, and 125 laps could go by in a blink of an eye. But then again, you mentioned that two-groove racing. So, I mean, it's, especially with this version of Martinsville, it could get pretty chaotic.
Oh yeah, this is definitely one of the better versions of Martinsville. And for a long time, I didn't come to Martinsville for the channel, but we found a good version, and we've stuck to it. And now it's the second to the last race of the season. It's gonna get wild. One pit stop, around lap 75 if we make it at that point. But if we make it to like around lap 80 to 90, and if there's a caution, they can in theory make it all the way to the end without pitting again. And that was made by design, because the merge down the back is sometimes a little bit iffy, and we want to limit the possibility of a caution during pit cycles at this racetrack. So hopefully that works out just fine. Here's the point standings going into the second to last race of the season. Josh Williamson has the point lead by only 14 points over the dominant driver this season, Joe Watkowski. And third in points, one of the another dominant drivers this season of Logan Williams, minus 17. Alex Sanvatore, the highest rookie, minus 34. Trey Bell in fifth, minus 39. Brandon Beal in sixth, minus 40. Those drivers to have a realistic shot as well at this championship. And then unfortunately, Burnett, minus 49. He needs a good one if he wants a shot at Atlanta next week. Ace Garcia in 8th, minus 52. Eli Blight, minus 71 in 9th. He tried a strategy, a two-stop strategy last week, and that did not work out, and that took him out of the championship. Then the defending champion Dale Campbell in 10th, minus 82. Nate Lopez, minus 83, and then Noah Clifton in 12th, minus 90. And here is the top 10. And Abel, for the 4th time this season, is on the pole. Now he has the most poles out of anybody. And alongside him is Anthony Hernandez, who last time he was on a true short track of Richmond, he almost won but blew a motor in the race lead. He wants to move short track revenge. Here today, Skylar Taylor in mode number 2, and alongside him, alongside her is Eric Marco in the number 3. Row number 3 is Ace Garcia and Matthew Hubert. Row number 4 is 3rd in points Logan Williams, and 4th in points of Alexander Vitale. And running out the top 10 is Justin Zeidel. And how about Santi Messi with a great qualifying effort running out the top 10. And then looking out through the field, you see Joe Wachowski in, I believe, the 15th position. And then all the way back on the field, Williamson starts, I believe that's the 31st position. So on the inside of form at least, but he's going to go from the back to the front here in this one. And Elijah, this is a crazy short track, 125 laps. Who do you think will win the Smithfield 500?
Ooh, I definitely would have to try to gun for somebody up towards the front of the field that could possibly get the job done. And if you ask me, I went with him, I think, a couple weeks ago. I think I'm going to go with him this time around. He could get it done. Logan Williams at that number 17, just starting inside of the top 10, starting 7th. So he could possibly have something to say to possibly move his way up to maybe to possibly second in the point standings, depending on what happens to Joe Grokowski in this race. So I'd say he's got a pretty good chance.
Well, it's all come down to this. Tonight we'll set up the tone of what we will see next week at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Aaron Abel and from Hernandez with green flag racing for race 25 for the Smithfield 500. Hernandez with a good jump on the outside lane. That happens sometimes at the start. And he will lead lap number 1, followed by LCR teammates right behind him as Skylar Taylor gonna move the 3 of Eric Marco up the racetrack, and we're gonna see that all night long. We're gonna see some aggressive short track racing. Of course, this is the final short track race of the season, so these guys are gonna have at it here at Martinsville.
Especially at this juncture of the season where every point is going to matter. Even if you're not in the conversation for the championship, every point matters, and you want to try to finish off the season strong. So for that move that Skylar Taylor pulled there, I don't blame them one bit.
You definitely cannot blame him. Taylor's had an up and down season. Currently doesn't have a ride for the 2025 season. But looking at Logan Williams, already making some moves on the 6th position driver of Hubert, but trying to fight back on the outside lane. It's not really that is multi-groove, but the outside lane can fight back sometimes on exit. And that's what Hubert tried getting there. He's going to fall back in front of Justin Zeidel and keep that spot and only lose 1 position. But meanwhile, Hernandez pulling away to almost a 17th of a second lead over Aaron Abel. Taylor in 3rd, and then the number 3 and 4th. And we only lap 5, and based off of what we saw last year, we are in for a treat all night long.
And you're going to see some of these drivers, especially towards the front of the field, they're going to get a little bit singled out, especially since it is early in this race. So you don't want to use up all of your stuff right from the get-go, or even try to make too many aggressive moves, because then it could wound up bringing out a yellow flag. But you see right here, this is the battle for the 10th position between the 34, John Andrews, 42, Eli Bright. Andrews had it at the stripe, but it looks like Bright fought back for just a little bit. That inside line came to life on the back straightaway, but let's see if Andrews can get that fire off the corner. He's not going to be able to do it right across the line, so that battle for 10th place is just as good as this battle for 8th, or 9th. Yeah, 8th. I'm getting mixed up here.
This is what I meant about this multi-groove race and a little bit of contact right there from San Vitale to Zidell. That outside lane could defend, and Andrews defended himself to keep the spot. Wachowski made a aggressive dive bomb to the number 24. He knows what is at stake. Dominant driver of the season, and I think he knows. I think I know exactly why he's being so aggressive early on. Logan Williams is up to the sixth position, and then you saw him from 31st all the way up to 22nd for Josh Ramson. He is moving in a heartbeat up to the top, almost inside the top 20. Right now, Williamson would lose about 10 points roughly on Joe Wachowski, and it would be a 4-point buffer going into Atlanta next week. But we're going to have to keep an eye out on that all night long, but also going to keep out on the race lead up front, as Unable trying to close back into his number 6 of Anthony Hernandez. And, well, this is the short track of the season, and we're going to see lap traffic a lot here tonight if the stays green, and we're already basically half a lap, if not more, away from lap traffic, and then 3 wide for 35th.
Well, if there was a caution came out that saw these 4 cars get together at the back, it would have definitely... Oh, I think the 3 might have just had a little bit of a wider exit. Probably got tight off the corner and had to check up by a lot. And that's what probably is going to enable Ace Garcia to possibly try to take advantage here in a couple of laps' time, is if he's able to get a good enough run. Battle for second is on between Taylor and Abel. But it looks like that's kind of calmed down for now between these two. But it has been dogfights all the way around this racetrack, especially basically the battle of the grooves. Sometimes the inside line prevails, sometimes the outside line can get a good fire off of the corner exit. So far, it's been pretty split. A little bit of contact there between the 20 and the 8. Great racing for second, and all of that is enabling Anthony Hernandez to just drive away from this. He's got to be loving everything that's happening in his rearview mirror.
Hernandez loves what he sees behind him. Of course, Anthony Hernandez returning to RFK next season. He's going to go way wide in 3 and 4. Taylor doesn't have a wide yet, and it's ironic because that is where Abel is going, not in the 20, but he's going back to Joker's racing in the number 11 next year. And then Monaco doesn't have a wide yet. Ace Garcia doesn't have a wide yet. Logan Williams is going to front row motorsports next year. And how about Logan Williams up to the 6th spot still? Ace Garcia to the inside of Monaco, side by side, and I said that we was gonna see some intense racing and some short track racing here, and that's exactly what we are seeing. Great stuff, and we are in for a long, but sometimes quick 125 lap race. Ace Garcia with a slide job, gonna park the bus, and that's gonna allow Logan Williams to get another crucial spot from Eric Monaco.
And we're almost a 1/6 of the way through this race, and as you mentioned, lots of very, very, very intense action that we're seeing here at Martinsville. Let's see Ace Garcia go really wide through the corner. That's going to allow Logan Williams to try to take advantage of this 4th position here. If he's able to get a good corner exit on the inside, he's going to get it just for now, but Garcia's fighting back.
Fighting back up top. Logan Williams going to try and make a clean pass on that number 7. And it looks like he will. Logan Williams up to the 4th position.
Yeah, he wasn't able to clear up there for just a second. Now he's able to do it.
Yep, and now here comes Garcia. Here comes Monaco to the inside of Garcia. And this is going to be very interesting as these guys are... Oh, no!
Oh!
Well, there goes Ryan Dwight. The 14 just blew up.
That's unfortunate.
And I was thinking that this... Oh my goodness! Wachowski sideways off the corner with battling with Seidel for just outside the top 10. Oh my goodness!
Whoa!
Oh no!
And into the inside wall!
Salvatore involved with a little piece of it.
Oh, that's a caution.
And that's going to be our first one of the night. 2 wide is fine, but 3 wide, not so much. Slow it down, boys. Slow it down. Oh, no!
Well, that's unfortunate for Anthony Hernandez.
You gotta be kidding me!
That is super unfortunate. Just stopping midway through turn number 2. Car's not able to refire, and this is going to give the 20 the race lead momentarily. At least until we go back green.
You cannot make this stuff up. Hernandez has had bad luck all season long. And something that we don't really see that often at Martinsville, and it happens to Anthony Hernandez. Oh my goodness. The 20 is on pit road, the 8 is on pit road. Meanwhile, a bunch of these drivers stayed out. The Garcia is on pit road. And it looks like it might be a little bit of a split between the field. And it looks like that is. We have a split strategy going on. And that's going to get interesting here. And yeah, it's going to be the 51. And not in 26. We'll see at the line. The 51 was the last one that stayed out. And oh my goodness. Well, let the chaos begin here at Martinsville. We got some split strategy, and we got some chaos. Let's go ahead and get back to the let's go ahead and first, before we get to the restart, see what happened to bring out the first caution of the night here in the Smithfield 500. Here we go. This happened to bring out the first caution of the night. Eric Marco was battling for the 5th position with Ace Garcia, and just slid up the racetrack. Tried doing a slide job, was not clear. Slid up the racetrack, and then watch Matthew Hubert and John Anderson on the inside lane. Right in the middle of all this, Matthew Hubert gets to the inside, makes it 3 wide, and because of John Andrews. And unfortunately, 3 wide does not really work out that well here at Martinsville Speedway, and down into the inside wall went Matthew Hubert and John Andrews. Andrews went down to the inside wall and was fine with that. And then Alexander Vitali with a little bit of a clip right there, but not too much damage. And then another big hit for John Andrews right there, and then another tap for Alexander Vitali. So, unfortunately for John Andrews, he's going to have damage on both the right side, the left side, and the hood, and basically every corner of the car. And that's going to bring out our first caution of the night here at Martinsville Speedway.
Just a product of short track racing, especially at a place like Martinsville. Monaco forces the 7 up the racetrack. This is causes a 3 wide situation. Huber gets into Vitali, which looks like he's going to be just fine. Very minimal damage to the 12, but he should be okay to continue on. But I can't say the same thing for John Andrews. Has some pretty significant damage to both sides of his car, especially the rear end. And that's just the unfortunate thing at a place like Martinsville. Is 3 wide racing just as typically doesn't really kind of work here. And also, the troubles for the 6 of Anthony Hernandez just randomly stopping in turn 2, which gave Skylar Taylor the race lead, at least temporarily, before they came down pit road, and caused a few others to go with them, which at the end of the day, this is going to give the 17 of Logan Williams the lead once we go back green.
It's going to be very interesting. The top 17 are going to be on 25 lap older tires. Tires not going to be too crazy, but that could be interesting because now these guys can make it till about lap 100 on pit road, and everyone else will still have to pit around lap 75 or so. Let's go ahead and get back to the restart at Martinsville Speedway. Welcome back to Martinsville Speedway after the first caution of the night in the Smithfield 500. And the only call out is, unfortunately, the 14 of Line Dwayne. He blew a piston. The number 6 was able to get out, or get back out, before the caution cycle ended. So we were able to wave him around because he was on the tail end. So he is back on the lead lap. And the top 17 stayed out is Logan Williams, Eric Marco, Justin Seidel, Wachowski, Andrews with a ton of damage, Edwards, Barlow, Burnett, Weem, and Williams in the top 10. And then the first car that pitted on fresher tires would be the 20 of Skylar Taylor, back green at Martinsville Speedway.
Saw Logan Williams get a really good jump on that restart, and he's checked out, at least temporarily. Got Eric Monaco, also the 38 of Justin Zeidel in third. I think even Joe Rakowski in that, let's say, a 4-car breakaway. At least for first through fourth have all checked out, at least for the moment. And it looks like Zeidel's going to get a little bit aggressive. He tried that, but you also got the 41 Trey Bartow, Jordan Edwards fighting it out for it. Looks like that's for the sixth position. But they're getting pretty aggressive here on this restart. We could have ourselves another battle for the lead here very, very shortly between Logan Williams and Eric Monaco. If Monaco can actually get to the inside of the 17.
Oh yeah, Monaco looks like he has a pretty solid race car. Of course, he kind of caused that first caution of the night, but besides the point, I think he has a really fast car. I think we saw the number 10 of, the number 10 of Donnie Farrington and the number 1 of Owen Mars go down pit road. That is another thing about this track. They might have tried passing before the start-finish line, and I think the officials busted them for that, as Owen Miles is going to come back out right in front of these leaders, and it's going to be 1 lap down. But so far, Logan Williams doing a good job up front. And let's quickly see Skylar Taylor not really making a ton of moves back here. Still running in 17th position with Ace Garcia as the 20s go way wide.
Taylor went extremely high through 3 and 4. And that almost kind of looked like the NR2003 version of the Hail Melon, except it would have not have worked at all. And Zeidel and Monaco rubbing doors through 3 and 4. Zeidel's going to get the benefit of that. Actually, this was for the lead.
This is for the lead. Wakowski trying to take second, and Zeidel is to the point we missed the 17 get past. And meanwhile, look at these guys. Look at the 34. The 34 is all types of damage, and he's inside the top 5.
The benefits of a short track is that aerodynamics do not mean a single thing. You could run this race without a nose on the car, not even a hood, engine fully exposed. You'd be essentially running a modified, and you could still run in the same position that John Andrews is currently running in, and that's third.
And you know what? Andrews, he might have a car to still one up front in this one. He was running inside the top 10 before that caution happened, and like you said, it is Martinsville, and damage just does not matter too much as long as there's no engine damage. Just body damage just does not affect these guys too often. But here is the big one for Joe Rakowski. Up front in this number 43, he had a day at Watkins Glen, lost the points lead, 14 points behind the number 77. As of now, he's trying to take the race lead. He's second. Williamson's 10th. That's a 9-point swing. Wakowski, I believe, is only a 5-point difference between the top 2. If Wakowski can get past Zeidel and get a bonus point for leading lap, then it will be 4.
And it's looking more and more possible that it could happen here because he's got a nose at least peeking down to the inside of the 38. He's going to try to send it in going into turn number 1. Rakowski may possibly, he's going to pull up alongside the 38 of Zeidel, but Justin Zeidel in that 38 got a good fire off a corner exit. They're rubbing through 3 and 4. They better be careful that they don't put John Andrews into the mix, and Logan Williams just absolutely slapped the wall. And in the process of all that, Rakowski takes the race lead and clears on the 38 for now. Look at the crossover!
Crossover from the number 38 of Zeidel, and how about Front Row Motorsports? The 38 of Zeidel and the 34 of Andrews. Andrews is returning that season, and oh yeah, the 38 is gonna be Justin's. It's not gonna be Justin's ideal. It's gonna. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be Logan Williams as Zeidel goes over to Team Penske, and now all of a sudden, with a damaged car and everything, is a 1-2 right now for Front Row Motorsports, and is the number 43 of Wakowski in third, Barlow in fourth, and Williams Logan Williams in the 5th position. How about this 31 of Jordan Edwards in the 6th position? Williams in 7th, and then the number 9 of Burnett to the inside of Marco, just inside the top 10, and just outside the top 10, here comes Wally Walker trying to get to the inside of Josh Winson, trying to get inside the top 10, and so many chasers up front. But right now, as things stand, as Witkowski gets back by the 34, it will still be a 5-point advantage over for Williamson over Witkowski. But we're only at lap 45, Elijah. We still have a long ways to go here.
And depending on how this race could go, it could still be a long way to go. But again, if there's no cautions, almost to lap 50, this race could still blow by in a blink of an eye. So I would still expect these drivers to remain as aggressive as they possibly can be without trying to waste too much stuff for the car. I know that's easier said than done, but then again, at this juncture of the season, again, I go back to it. I said it at the beginning of the race. Every point matters, and look at Witkowski basically proving my point.
Well, you said that every point matters, and that is the truth, as Williamson just lost a position. He's outside the top 10. Witkowski made all kinds of contact. He's going to leave this lap, give a crucial bonus point, as Williamson has fallen outside the top 10 now to the 11th position. Williamson not in good favors, as William Block went down pit road. He had a tire go down for the number 51. Williamson's going to take the race lead officially now for trying to get his 5th win of season number 5. Meanwhile, now here comes John Andrews. I'm impressed that this car is all damaged and everything, and he's running inside the top 3 with his teammate. And how is Logan Williamson? He's still in the 11th, so that's good. But that is a 10-point swing from Witkowski to Williamson. And now because of the 43 linear lap, that's another bonus point. I think is a 3-point difference between the top 2 in points.
No matter what, it's really close. And I'd say if Williamson was going to have himself a better chance at possibly getting himself just a little bit further of the way in the point standings, basically extending that points advantage, he's definitely going to have to start passing cars. And he's got to do it in a hurry.
Oh yeah, he's had a good car. Of course, some of the pit strategy that happened definitely helped him in his favor, at least for now. But running just outside the top 10 with Witkowski back out front trying to get win number 5, that's not a good thing for Josh Williamson. But this is good for Logan Williams because he's currently in the 4th position, and he's ahead of Logan Williamson, Josh Williamson by, I want to say, 7 or 8 positions. So even then, this is a worst case scenario from Josh Williamson because 2nd and 3rd in points are both ahead of him here in this one. But here's the interesting thing. We still have 1 pit stop to go. For everyone that stayed out, they're still going to have to pit around lap 75, maybe lap 85 because of that caution, and they will be good to from there. But from 18th on back, who pitted basically the second half of the field, they're going to have to pit around lap 100, so that's going to be very interesting of how that all cycles through if this stays green. And we're getting closer almost to the halfway point of the Smithfield 500.
Let's take a look at this battle here for this 4th position between Trey Bartow and Logan Williams. It has been absolutely heating up here in the background as we were looking at the top 3. Looks like Bartow's going to have the advantage for the time being. He's gonna definitely officially clear the 17 of Logan Williams, at least for the time being. But Williams might try to fight back on the high side. Actually, no, he went a little bit too wide there. So now he's under fire from the 31 of Jordan Edwards. So actually, no, he's going to be able to retain that 5th position here just fine and try to set his sights on the 41 of Trey Bartow for the 4th spot a little bit later on. But to your point, pit stops are indeed coming up, so it is going to be very interesting to see what these drivers that stayed out are going to do. They could pit right around lap 75, lap 80, or try to maybe, just maybe, stretch it out to see if they can try to make it with the other cars that ended up pitting under that first caution. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. There's still one pit stop, and hopefully, whenever pit stops happen, on the green, these guys do a good job and don't merge the wrong way. But just saying, we're gonna see not pit stops, but we are gonna see lap traffic here very, very soon. And these guys are not really too slow. They're all reins now into effect deep into the season, but they're still not gonna be that slow as the 21 got into outside wall. That's gonna hold up all these guys behind them. But lap traffic, we've not seen it yet. Oh!
Oh!
But that could play into a role in this one as well.
Absolutely. Lap traffic, especially if there are drivers that are probably may have damage a little bit worse than John Andrews, should there be another caution that comes out. I mean, it could potentially, there could potentially be a better chance of slower cars or maybe slower traffic, but same thing. But regardless of that, everybody's with ratings that are in effect at this juncture of the season, it's going to be pretty difficult to have slower traffic, but once we get these pit stops going, it's definitely going to make a pretty big difference here, especially if you're racing up towards the front of the field, maybe say in the top 3 positions. Lap traffic is going to be very crucial to try to get around, because if you get caught up in a big old hornet's nest of lap traffic, that's going to enable 2nd and 3rd place, maybe even 4th if they're in the mix, to capitalize and close in.
Oh yeah, it's going to be very interesting of what ends up happening with pit stops and with lap traffic. The 24 just came down pit road for a coolant leak, so tough way for Susway, who had a good one at Watkins Glen last week. He's going to go another lap down. Right now, Owen Miles is 1 lap down. The number 10 of Donnie Farrington is 1 lap down. The 51 of William Block is 2 laps down, and I think the 24 of Susway just went a 3rd lap down in the number 24. But we still have 35 cars on track. Everyone on track besides the number 14, who blew up, and oh boy. It took us a little bit longer than I expected because of that caution, but around lap 65, and we have caught up to the tail end of the field.
That's the 10 of Donnie Follington and also the 48 of Santi Messi. They're fighting for position here. I would assume that these 2 cars are just at the very tail end. Actually, nope. Well, it's just Messi. Messi's the last car in the lead lap. Donnie Follington is the 2nd car 1 lap down. Obviously behind the number 1 of Owen Miles, but still nonetheless, they're fighting hard for track position regardless of not really official racing position, but just regardless of that fact. I mean, they're, especially for somebody like Donnie Follington, in danger of going 2 laps down. Santi Messi in danger of going 1 lap down. So if you're somebody that's up towards the front of the field, or towards a little bit further ahead of that field, you're definitely going to want to try to capitalize and pass as many cars as possible to avoid going a lap down. As we also saw the 45 just a little bit ago of Travis Crampton come on down pit road.
Yeah, not sure if he might have hit the wall and they thought that they had to fix the damage, or if he's trying some kind of strategy. They should be able to go to lap 75, lap 80, if it stayed green, and no one else is going down pit road anyway. So unfortunately for Travis Crampton, that might have been a thing where he is either A, trying something completely different, or he is just trying to, I don't know, or maybe he just hit the wall. But I mean, in theory, I guess pit road would be open now to make it all the way. So maybe just trying to do that and not pit for the rest of this race, who knows. And so is the 23, who was of course involved in the first caution of the night. He's also down pit road. That's Matthew Hubert. And right now, it's looking pretty good for Witkowski and William right now here in this one. Josh Williamson got past the number 3, and now is back inside the top 10. Not a ton of tire, but here's the thing. For everyone that's not pitted yet, we'll probably see him pit in the next 10 laps. And that could be interesting on what ends up happening.
I mean, for all we know, they could pit in groups. For all we also know, that strategy could be a little bit more split, and it could be maybe a sprinkle of cars, maybe a sprinkle of maybe 2-3 cars coming down collectively. Oh, I think even the 3 of Eric Monaco might come down pit road a little bit sooner than what we think. because obviously we just caught up to him, just barely scraping the right side of his car in turn number 4. Probably just overcooked the exit and went way too wide, and the car probably got tight on him.
Oh, there's the 31 down on the pit road. He was up front, and I believe the top 7, and he's down onto the pit road. And oh no, it's a fuel leak for the 31 actually. Oh my goodness.
Man.
So many tires. That's 2 tires and 2 different leaks. Equivalent leak and a fuel leak now for the 31.
And I think even just William Brock, I might have just seen that report. He's probably having some brake problems.
Oh, he is as well.
The 51 of William Brock.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's important. You definitely want boys at Martinsville. And oh my goodness!
No! Speaking of William Brock.
Well,
that's a caution.
I think he stopped on the racetrack because of the brake failure.
And in the process of that, he definitely just caught up to him, just turned around sideways in front of the 21. That was Jordan Stout, I believe. So that is very unfortunate for Stout, even for William Brock as well, who we just talked about having those brake issues. And then we find him sideways in front of the 21 on the back straightaway. Caution out for the second time. And pit strategy is coming into effect here.
And honestly, this might just throw that out the window. Because I believe... Yeah, we should be good from here. We should be good on fuel from here. So, luckily tonight, we will not have to deal with the pit road merging. And everyone is going to come down here on pit road. And this is going to be the one and only stop for most of these drivers. And Wachowski with a good stop. He's going to exit right now. John Anderson with a better stop.
Oh! That's going to be interesting.
I'm telling you what, this 34 is impressing the heck out of me tonight. Not only did it get wet, but he is doing a fantastic job of a damaged race car.
It's a very beneficial thing to know that aerodynamics don't mean a thing, especially if you're in the shoes of John Andrews, knowing that you still have plenty of speed left over in the car, despite the cosmetic and body damage that he has on that 34 machine. Definitely putting it to good work here for the 34.
Well, let's go ahead and look and see what happens when we have the second caution of the night. Get these lap cars out of the way, and we'll have another restart with about 40 laps to go, I want to say, here in the Smithfield 500. Here we go, this will happen to bring out the second caution of the night, and this is basically a lap of issues for William Brock. Here in 34, he had a brake failure go down. Or a brake issue happened. He tried getting out of the way, and he had no brakes and just had to really lift off the gas. Maybe he had a little bit of brakes left, and then he stopped on the racetrack, and a Pocono situation happened all over again. Jordan Stout ran into the back of him, and that weird angle of the left rear, and that blew up the 51's engine, and he's gonna be done for the night. So, tough way for William Brock, but you know what? That is good news for the field. We won't have to worry about green flag pit stops, and we can race it out to the end. We will get these guys sorted out with lap traffic and everything. It would be the damaged 34 of John Andrews as the race leader. And let's go ahead and get to the restart in the Smithfield 500. Welcome back to Martinsville. Here for the Smithfield 500 race 25 of season 5, and we will go back going with 44 laps to go in the Smithfield 500, and it is going to be a doozy if it's anything of what we've seen so far here tonight. John Andrews leads us to the green, Wachowski in second, the 38 of Seidel, Barlow in fourth, Ream in fifth, Burnett in sixth, Garcia in seventh, Williamson up to eighth, Logan Williams in 9th, and Skylar Taylor rounds out the top 10. Here we go. Will this be the final restart of the night? If Villaville can't be, back with 44 laps to go.
Yeah, not as good of a restart as what we saw before. It looks like the top 6 got themselves a good jump. You see Bartow right around the outside of Bradley Ream. And now the fight is on here, especially within 50 laps to go. We're going to see a lot of drivers be really, really aggressive for position here. For example, for the lead.
Watkowski needs this win. He only has 4, but this could be one of the biggest wins all year long, due to the fact of Josh Williamson still running inside the top 10 back in the 8th position. He's going to run wide, going to lead another lap, and here's the thing, I don't know who would get the bonus point for leading the most laps.
Oh boy!
But whoever leads the most laps will get bonus points. So if Watkowski can't do that, that will help him give him another bonus point. But Zidell is roughing up one of the championship contenders right now here at Martinsville.
Zidell knows that he has absolutely nothing to lose when it comes to the championship picture, because obviously he's not in it. He doesn't have the orange banner or the orange spoiler, so he can definitely try to wrestle this race win away, because Rakowski has already got 4 wins, but he's in the championship conversation. So regardless of where he finishes, Rakowski would be putting himself in a better position. But you know Joe Rakowski, he wants win number 5, because this could be the biggest win all year, as you mentioned. But you also see Josh Williamson, remember, started 31st in this race and currently showing up in the 8th position.
And you know what? Spotter just did a spotter tactic. Ace Garcia let his teammate by, and that's another point that got taken away from Joe Watkowski. Watkowski is in 2nd, Williamson is in 7th. Williamson does not have a bonus point yet here tonight, but Watkowski does. Oh boy, it's going to be tight. Watkowski really wants this race win, and he's pulling away. These top 2 are pulling away from 3rd. As we look at 3rd, we have Logan Williams, Bradley Williams, John Andrews, Trey Barlow, and how about Matthew Hubert now up front? And Barlow tried making it 3 wide right there. And this is the kind of stuff that we love to see in Martinsville, and this is why we had this at the late as the season as it is. Great battle for 3rd, as Watkowski and Zidell are pulling away.
And there is a potential that Bartow could make this 3 wide, as he is right now. Door banging as they come down the front straightaway. That got pretty chaotic on the front straightaway.
Oh yeah, that did. Logan Williams is going to get past Ronald Kennington in the 19. Unfortunately, the 20 just had the engines go sour. That's a tough way for Skylar Taylor, having a great one all night long inside the top 10, top 15. And now here comes Matthew Hubert to Matthew Burnett to the inside of John Andrews. Meanwhile, up front, it's starting to get a little bit tighter for the race lead between Logan Williams, Justin Zidell, and Joe Watkowski. I'm losing it here at Martinsville with how much chaos is happening. Zidell trying to get a 2nd late season win. Meanwhile, Watkowski trying to get his 5th win of the season. And it's getting down to crunch time now here at Martinsville.
Yeah, if Zidell keeps going through turns 3 and 4 as wide as he is, that's obviously going to go open the door for the 43 to pull up alongside on corner exit, maybe even on the corner entry heading into 3. But at that same time, I mean, Rakowski's kind of doing the exact same thing, so really nobody's getting the benefit of just basically the run through 3 and 4. So it's kind of been pretty even between Rakowski and also Zidell, at least for the moment, but closing in on 30 laps to go here very, very shortly. Things could get dicey. I mean, for all we know, Zidell could potentially slip up. That could allow the 43 to capitalize, or maybe even the 43 could even have a little mishap coming off the corner, like we've seen Eric Monaco do a couple of times. He could pancake the wall, and that could just allow Justin Zidell to just absolutely drive away. So 30 laps to go, man. It's going to get crazy.
Welcome to Martinsville. 30 laps to go. Top 2 going after the win here. Ream in 3rd, Barlow in 4th, Burnett in 5th, and now it is Williamson in the 6th position, Andrews in 7th. Logan Williams has dropped down to 8th, and then Monaco and Kennington have a great one inside the top 10. Gonna stop saying his name. That's the only time I'm gonna say it, because I tend to jinx him whenever I say his name this season. He's one of the drivers that have had the biggest jinx all year. But Watkowski is doing all that he can to try and stay in his title fight. Right now, he will still have a really good shot at Atlanta next week, but it's not going to be as helpful as what it once was, because Williamson is moving in his number 77 from 31st to 6th, and he's looking for maybe getting a top 5 1 past the number 9 as the 17 wants the 34 up the racetrack.
It's getting pretty aggressive here, especially for if you're in the position of Logan Williams or even Josh Williamson, who's just doing absolutely everything he can to try to maintain somewhat of a points lead. And he almost got turned there by the 9 of Burnett. That got really close.
Oh, Burnett's not happy about that.
Oh, he is not happy whatsoever.
Burnett racing with the chase driver, who is the point leader. Now look at Logan Williams. He's going to make a move, and he's going to be like, okay, boys, I'm going to take 2 spots right from you. 3 wide.
Oh, they are squeezing each other heading into turn 1.
Logan Williams is going to take 2 spots out of nowhere, and meanwhile these two are still battling for position, still beefing. Oh my goodness, it's not what the point lead in these two, but Logan Williams slides up.
Oh, Williams hits the wall!
Right in front of Josh Williamson.
And in all of that, that's going to allow Matthew Burnett to drive away with the 5th position, and possibly even for John Andrews and also the 19 of Ronald Kennington to capitalize.
Oh my goodness, that's not the first time that the 17 has hit the wall tonight and get tight, and that was crucial. That was big, because now not really for the 17, but especially for the 43, because now instead of, oh my goodness,
oh, they're still beating and banging.
We might not have we might not be done with cautions. We might have one more left if these guys keep on racing the way that they are. Oh my goodness.
That's what I'm saying. Oh my goodness is right. If you're in the position of Josh Williamson right now, you have to be absolutely screaming on the radio in frustration of what just happened there, because that's a couple of spots that Williamson could have gained, but he lost a few. Really, he kind of stayed right where he was. Even though gained some positions, he probably could have gained them. I mean, I don't even know. I kind of just essentially said the same thing. But you get what I mean, though. It's frustrating, especially if you're in the position of Williamson, because you're just trying to get as many points as you possibly can to try to maintain somewhat of a points lead before going into the championship race next week at Atlanta. So, I wouldn't blame Williamson at all for just being as frustrated as he is, but so far, he's picked up another position. Now going to try to knock on the door of the 6th spot on the 19 of Kennington before closing in on the top 5 with Matthew Burnett, who is just a little bit ahead of the 19.
As of now, I think Williamson will still be the point leader going into Atlanta, but it will definitely be a lot shorter than what it was entering. It was 14 points in, and I think it might be, as of now, Watkowski does have a bonus point for leading a lap, and Williamson does not. So that's 6 points right there. I believe it's a 7-8 point difference between the top 2 in points. And then, unfortunately for Logan Williams, he's going to lose a couple of points on those 2. But meanwhile, look. Oh, that's what happened. Like, Dell caught up with lap traffic, and he had a big lead. He has the 9/10 of a second lead almost. Seidel trying to get his second win on the season. And now, Watkowski has to get through this lap traffic, trying to get his 5th win. And all with, 15 laps to go at Martinsville.
Yeah, it was like I was mentioning earlier about slower traffic.
Oh, no!
Oh, no! Right in front of Rakowski! Goes Matthew Hubert and Susstrice blocking turn 1. Oh, the track got blocked for a split second, and everybody just stopping. No idea what to do. Burnett, Messi, everybody stopped on the exit of the front stretch.
Oh my goodness. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Please.
What in the world?
Oh my good lord.
I have no words. No words to describe what just happened, let alone even to describe just how this changes everything.
Well, that might have just gave Williamson a massive point lead going into Atlanta next week. You got to be kidding me.
Oh my goodness. Even Zidell's got a little bit of nose damage, but I don't think it's going to really mean too much. It was like I was mentioning earlier with the 34. You could have as much damage as he has and still run inside top 5, top 10. So I'd say Zidell is going to be good to go here.
Well, the bright side was this 43. So many people, because of what happened, are either on the tail end or is on a lap down. So we're going to have to fix things here. Let's go ahead and see what happens to bring out the third caution of the night with massive championship implications here in the Smithfield 500. Here we go. This will happen off the turn number 4. And unfortunately, this is going to cause some massive implications in not only this race, but also for the championship. Cause that's why had a tire go down right in front of not only lap traffic, but also the race leaders. And entering turn number 1, Kyla Suswai is going to stay on the bottom. And unfortunately, don't know if it had something to do with the tire, but he just went straight. And Hubert ran right into the back of the 24, right in front of Joe Wachowski, who's going to get a little bit of damage, but not too bad. And he's going to get through this one with just minor damage. St. Messi is going to get stuck. And then here's the weird thing about Martinsville, is that when they wet in turn 1, they wet more. Troy Bell slides on in with a little bit of outside wall damage. And here comes all these guys. Burnett, Kennington, Williamson, Andrews, Monaco, Josh Williams, Logan Williams. They all come to a stop. Some get more stops than others. And this does not work out for any of these guys. Especially for the 17, who get stuck on the curb, and then they run into the back of each other in the back as well, I believe. And yeah, here comes Crampton. He's going to run into the back of the number 1, and it just turns into a stack-up effect. And the 38 into the back of the 21, the race leader, and just everyone stacks him up. And because of that, a lot of cars are torn up, a lot of cars got stuck, a lot of cars are on the tail end and or a lap down. It is a mess, but big time championship implications for Joe Wachowski. He went from being 6 positions ahead of Josh Williamson to now he might be 6 positions behind on the restart. Oh my goodness.
Well, you can kind of see the 24 of Kyler Susstrike just kind of racing a normal line, but then coming off of turn number 4, eventually slows down, pulls off the racing line, but heading into turn number 1, this is where the chaos starts. Hubert gets into the 24, who slides up in front of the 43, then Messi gets collected, then Bartos slides in, then pandemonium starts. The track gets blocked on the inside line, then everybody just absolutely stops as if there's a traffic jam on I-95, and then just massive ARCA braking. Heading into turn number 1, Crampton, Stout, as well as a few other drivers that do have a lot of major nose damage. And that is an absolute tough break for a lot of those drivers who are just trying to look to finish their days strong.
Yeah, very unfortunate that had to happen late here in this one. Wachowski ended up having to pit because of that damage, unfortunately. And he's going to restart in 10th instead of in 2nd. So, Massive championship implications, massive race altering implications. And we'll go ahead and fix everything and get back to a late race restart here at Martinsville Speedway. Welcome back to Martinsville Speedway, and we've had some chaos now here tonight. And unfortunately, it's going to cost Logan Williams a shot at the championship. But here we go, it's going to be a 9-lap shootout. And it will be Justin Zeidel, Bradley Ream now in second. Juan Kennington is in third. Josh Williamson, the point leader, in fourth. Andrews with a destroyed race car in fifth. Monaco, Beal, Dylan Matthews, Ace Garcia and Joe Watkowski in the 10th position. With 9 laps to go, who will win the Smithfield 500?
And just like that, Zeidel gets a really good jump on the restart, but so did the 22 of Bradley Ream, even as well as the 19 of Ronald Kennington. But you see all these drivers getting a little bit more spread out, some getting stacked up towards a little bit deeper in the field, but lots of side-by-side action. Take it, for example, the 4th position between Andrews and Williamson. And also a little bit further back, we saw Brandon Beal and Eric Monaco fight it out for position. Monaco back inside of the top 10 for the first time in a while. And how about... Oh, no! Now that's some short track racing at its finest between the 34 and the 77. That is just for the 4th position here within 10 laps to go. About 7, coming to 6 this time by.
I think it's going to be really close for Josh Williamson and Joe Watkowski. I think he has 5 positions separating those two, because Watkowski does have a bonus point for leading a lap. It's only 4-point loss as of now. Watkowski is on points control at this point. Meanwhile, back up to the front, we have 3 drivers up front. Justin Zeidel trying to get his a second win. William trying to get a second win. And how about Ronald Kennington? Up to the 3rd position. He has so much bad luck. I have to talk to about him now. Running in the 3rd position with a slight shot at this race win.
He has definitely a very good shot of trying to get by Bradley Ream here for this 2nd position. They very well may do that here within 5 laps to go. 4 to go this time by. Looks like Rakowski has picked up another position on the number 3 of Eric Monaco. Kennington trying to peak low on the 22 for 2nd. But just might barely get a nose on the left rear quarter panel heading into turn 1. Oh, he's going to force it in.
Gonna force it into turns 1 and 2. Watkowski in 8th. Williamson in 4th. And really, that's going to be a 3-point loss, and it's going to be a 17-point advantage, but Williamson runs wide. 2 laps to go. Zeidel's probably in a catbird seat of getting a second win on the season, but Kennington's going to take the 2nd spot away. And now, white flag, this time by for Justin Zeidel in the number 38, trying to get a second win on the season, but these two are not done yet for the 2nd position. As Watkowski, I don't know if he's going to gain any more positions on the 77. Williams is going to take 2nd. And meanwhile, down the back for the final time in a wild and chaotic race at Martinsville, Justin Zeidel off turn 4 is going to get his 2nd win on the season and win the Smithfield 500. And in a half a column, it will be Bradley Ream in 2nd and Ronald Kennington in 3rd. Williamson in 5th. And Watkowski gets 8th.
That is about a 4-position difference between those two, and it's gonna be really, really close when it comes down to those points. So I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm excited to see what the outcome is gonna look like.
Oh boy, all night long, Joe Watkowski was ahead of that 77, but all it took was one instance for Kyle Sustry blowing a tire in front of the race leaders, and that changed the entire complexity of the championship. Logan Williams unfortunately finished 2 laps down in 27th. He had to go back down pit road once we went back green, and that's probably going to take him out of the running for the championship. So it's going to come down to, I'm pretty sure, Josh Williamson and Joe Watkowski Williamson never led a lap tonight, I'm pretty sure. So Watkowski's going to have that. It's going to be 3 points loss. It's going to be a 17-point advantage for Josh Williamson next week at Atlanta. And that's going to be tight if that 77 can hang on and get his first JBL Cup Series championship. But Watkowski's been strong, especially on these mile and a halves. Oh man, Zidell with the second win, Weeman second, Kennington third, Vincent fourth, Andrews fifth, Beal sixth, Matthews seventh, Watkowski eighth, Marco ninth, and Barrow runs out of the top 10. Ace Garcia in 11th, Wyatt Walker in 12th, Taylor Campbell in 13th, Clifton in 14th, Fernandez, after getting stuck on apron, bounces back to finish 15th. And able to post us in 16th, Juan Garcia in 17th, Ruiz in 18th, Fitzwater in 19th, and Andy Miller rounds out the top 20. And then Sam Vitale and Burnett rounds out the Sam Vitale rounds out the cars that were on the lead lap. And these guys had different issues all night long. Wood just got trapped a lap down. Matthew Burnett 1 lap down, O'Miles 1 lap down, Hubert 1 lap down, Messi, Nick Lopez, and Logan Williams 2 laps down, and then Sustwire 4 laps down. And unfortunately, these drivers were out. Stout, Crampton, Taylor with air condition when that 20 team blew up. The 10 of Donnie Farmington had a suspension failure. Eli Bright retired. Jordan Edwards had a fuel leak, I believe, so he eventually got back out, I think, but he was, actually no he didn't, he's still right there on pit road. 52 laps down. Then Blount had a brake failure, and then the 14 of Ryan Dory had a engine and a piston go up in smoke. Oh my goodness, what a race that we've seen here at Martinsville with championship implications. Now it's looking pretty likely for Josh Williamson to leave here with a really good points lead going into Atlanta next week. What's the final thoughts on a absolutely wild Martinsville race here for the Smithfield 500?
Well, I definitely have to say this probably was a really good penultimate race to the season. Heading into the final race at Atlanta next week, the points cushion, I mean, the points are just going to be absolutely oh so close. I could probably smell that coming from a mile away, but when it comes down to the action, it did not disappoint. Kind of shades of Bowman Gray, even though this racetrack is just a quarter of a mile bigger, and it's just, you just saw some really good racing all the way around. Everybody just taking advantage of the groove. Some drivers going really wide and overshooting the exit, and all in all, regardless of that, big congratulations to Justin Zidell on getting the win, and just other than that, really spectacular and very chaotic racing here at the Martinsville Speedway.
Absolutely fantastic racing. There's a little bit of nitpicks about this track, but overall the racing is absolutely fantastic. I can confirm that just Justin Zidell led the most laps here tonight with 53. Josh Williamson never led a lap, but Watkowski led 34, so that is a bonus point for him. And looking at the point standings, I was right. Josh Williamson is going to have a 17-point lead over the point leader of Joe Watkowski. Logan Williams minus 39. And how about Brandon Beal? Minus 42 and 4th. I think he's just outside of the points position right there. And I think it's going to come down to Williamson and Watkowski. Barlow in 5th minus 45.
Oh boy.
That's a heartbreaker for Joe Watkowski, though, because he was up front all night long, was up front and ahead of that 77 all night long. But because of the 24, now he's going to have to make up a lot of ground at Atlanta next week. Oh, wow. Well, you've been up here in the booth for half of these chase races, 5 out of the 9, I'm pretty sure. What are the thoughts of the chase, and what do you think we'll see next week at Atlanta, the old Atlanta? Tires are going to fall off, and oh yeah, that's going to be an race as well. What do you think is going to go down for the championship next week?
Well, especially if you're in the championship conversation, you're definitely going to be thinking to yourself, what am I absolutely going to do to try to run down Josh Williamson for this championship? If you're in the position of, say, Joe Rakowski, for instance, who's definitely the closest out of all the other drivers that are in the talk for going for the title. But if you're Josh Williamson, you're just thinking to yourself, get as many points out of the weekend as you can. But more importantly, try to see if you can go for that race win, so that way you can ensure that you can take home the championship, leaving Atlanta and leaving the Season 5 JBL Cup Series season. So it's gonna be wild when we get to Atlanta. All those drivers are gonna go balls to the walls racing at Atlanta for the season finale. For some, they've got a lot to lose when you're in the championship. For others, you got nothing to lose. Just try to finish the season strong.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, it's been a fantastic Season 5. We saw another fantastic race here tonight. It's never over. Rakowski, I thought, was going to close in massively and cut it in half, and really he did a really good points management and then only lost 3 points, but that's going to be tough for Rakowski to make up all in one race. But if anyone can, it's that 43 team. All he needs to do is win the race and have Williamson finish 18th or worse. So actually, just get 18th and have Watkins win, because he would have the tiebreaker on wins. So it's going to be very exciting of what happens there for the JBL 500. 82 laps at Old Atlanta underneath the lights, and it's going to be a fun one. Thanks to Elijah for joining me here in the booth for this one, and congratulations to Justin Idell on getting his second race win of season number 5, and we will see you guys next week for the JBL 500 to crown a season 5 champion. Bye!
Have a good one.